Oh, I know who was from Tooting. Do you remember that Power to the People 70s program?
No, I
No.
don't.
I remember the title of it. You're a bit of a revolutionary, aren't you, David? Are you?
Power to the people, yeah. Right, where's my... Okay, says admit all. Here comes Charlie. We got...
Hey, we've got
Is
a
that
few.
Tony T. Teapot Tony?
Yes. Teapot Tony, Project 6.
Start video.
Hello, Tony.
And there's my dietitian.
Trying to command. Okay.
You're getting there, Charlie. You're getting there.
I'm trying to get there, but my video won't start on this laptop. Enable camera.
Oh.
Put some money in the slot, Charlie.
I'm going to have to use my phone. That's what I'm going to have to do. I knew this wasn't going to work.
Oh, dear.
I'm going.
Oh. So I sent out that little WhatsApp invite, and then people started joining at 8 o'clock my time when I was on another meeting. Did you get the WhatsApp message, Michael?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Leave us.
And my time was right, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Either that or we were both wrong. One or the other.
No.
That does happen.
Tony Recovery Ninja. He's not here, is he? That's the other Tony. Okay, we've got 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll be with you in 1 sec.
Okay.
You hold the fort, mate. Has anyone else joined?
Not yet.
Come on, people. There's Charlie. Okay. Charlie's so nice, he's on twice.
Can you see me?
Yes, we can.
Have I got another account on as well? Oh, man.
I'll remove that one if you want.
Yeah, please do. I'm having a mare.
I won't report you to Zoom, though.
That's good.
All right. So everyone says they want the times changed, and can we accommodate them so that they can come, and then people don't arrive.
That must not be new to you, David.
No, it's not. It's very new to me. It's been like that for years. And I've been doing these trainings since 2008. And that's quite a long time.
It's a long time.
and people wanted manuals, and they wanted this, and then they wanted that, and they wanted this, and we've accommodated, always accommodated, until I got to the point where I realized we'll put the stuff there anyway, but we'll know people won't do it.
You see, the problem is, David, once they come out of the container, they are lost.
Yeah.
Once they're in the container, it keeps going, you see?
Yeah. And this is why we have the weekly things, though.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. David Wright.
Hello.
How
Hello,
are you?
morning.
I'm okay, thank you. Well, I'm yes, I'm okay. So much going on, but doing well, thanks.
You've got a very interesting background. What is that?
This background is something I installed and I haven't yet found the time to figure out how to take it off. It's called or something. MMMM. It's the weirdest thing, but it is what it is for now.
All right, great. Okay, everyone. Well, let's start. The important thing is that we start on time. Yeah, and just so you know how the week is structured, on a Tuesday we do community of practice, where we come together as a community of practitioners trying to work out how this stuff is. On Wednesday there's a recovery coaching certification class, and on a Thursday there's a leadership class, and then there's a systemic wellness practitioner, and then Friday's case management. So that's kind of how my week is structured around this work, and I just wanted to put that out there. And additionally, we stream this class to a location at Recovery Connections, where we're using this for academic purposes. And if at any point people are unhappy with the recording, just tell me and I will delete it. So your psychic safety comes first. However, we are using this to better the profession, to bring more wisdom into the fourth sector. And I think we're doing quite a good job of it, in spite of all the challenges that we have. Yeah. So I check in. Nice to see you. Excited to be here. And I love the way David's background is matching Michael's top. That was very, very, very color coordinated, because even Bruno matches as well with his profile picture. Cool.
We did meet beforehand to discuss, didn't we, David? Yes, he says yes.
Does David say yes?
He said yes.
Yeah, I think he was referring to you, David, right? Cool. Here comes Raps.
Michael was referring to me. I don't think we've met before, Michael.
No, he was joking. He's from up north.
Oh, sorry. Oh. Okay.
You can tell David from South Africa. You have to explain a joke from the English.
Okay.
You want to check in, David?
Yes, I'm going to check in. I'm checking in. I've been doing a lot of kind of breath work, which is linked to healing. So I'm feeling quite tired and exhausted at the moment, but I'm also grateful to be here. And I'm only going to be here for 5 minutes. I just wanted to show up because I hadn't seen you in a while, David. And I just wanted to see what was going on here. So I'm not going to be very long, but it's nice to be here and see all of you. So that's me, and thanks.
It's great that you checked in, David, and hopefully you can attend going forward.
Yeah.
Cool. Who are you tagging, David?
I'm going to tag Coach Rebson Banda.
Zambia's in the house. Let's go.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I think the first thing I'll say is that you should come and see the Victoria Falls. Anyway, I'm checking in. I'm checking in very happy because so many things have been happening. So many adversary-oriented things have been happening. So I'm checking in happy, and now, and I'm going to stay. I'm not going to be here for 5 minutes, just like David Ryder said. I'm going to stay. Thank you.
Great stuff, Repson. Who are you tagging, Repson?
Oh, I'm tagging Bruno. Bruno, I'm tagging you.
Bruno, you're muted. There we go.
Greetings to you all. Thank you, my brother, for tagging me. I am checking in feeling good, and I am also not going to go away after 5 minutes. I'm going to hang on until the end of the meeting. And I am tagging Charlie.
Thank you, Bruno. I'm also not going to go after 5 minutes. And hopefully this time I'll stay to the end of the meeting because my last week got cut off. But I'm okay. I'm all right, but I'm rather anxious at the moment of what could happen today. I'm getting some kickback now from a YouTube man video. I got some kickback man yesterday, and I think some things are going to go off today. So I'm using all my spiritual principles at the moment to keep me safe. Loads of meditation, loads of breathing, loads of talking to other addicts and alcoholics. And I'm glad to be on the container. And David, have you been with David Collins?
I sort of started it, so let's go to Michael.
Hi.
Michael.
There seems to be a theme going on here about this 5-minute ruling. I'd like to join the big boys club or big persons club and stay for the duration if I can maintain my stamina. You see, I haven't done the breathing, I haven't done the meditation, I've just turned up because I know meeting you all will just give me that strength to carry on. That's a bit creepy, isn't it, David? But in a good place. I was talking to one of the staff here in Doncaster at Project 6 about some study he's going to embark upon next year. It's called NLP, Neurological Language Pathways Training. Have you heard of it, anybody? Neurological Language Pathways.
Neuro-linguistic programming.
Programming, is it?
Yeah.
Yes. Sounded very, very interesting, particularly with recovery coaching, about how we can read the signs of people and how we can actually, I suppose, help build that container once we know how the people in the room are feeling. So I was very interested, and it's prompted my interest. So I'm quite enthusiastic today, in a good place. So looking forward to our session. Thank you. If I can then tag, he's gone. Tony T. Tony, do you want to unmute? Do you want to check in, Tony?
Nice haircut, Tony.
Cheers.
Hello, I don't know why we're so yellow. We look like the Simpsons.
No, they weren't.
Sorry we're late.
That's fine. So it's Ella and Tony, and then we've got Tony from Project 6. And who's with you, Tony T?
Tony T.
We can't hear you. All right, while Tony sorts that out, let's go to Raw. Go for it, Ella. Do you want to check in now that you've just taken a big gulp of tea?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit there's a few things going on in the office today, so it was a little bit kind of touch and go this morning, but I'm feeling happy. I go on holiday on Thursday, so I'm excited. It's nice to be here. Missed so many.
Yeah, it's nice to see you. Tony Ninja?
Yeah, I feel a bit, is it called discombobulated? A bit like Allah, there's lots going on here at the minute. So it's, yeah, I'm trying to focus on this, but yeah, with everything going on, it's a little bit, yeah, weird. But yeah, happy to be here. glad I've missed a few myself. So because of Ella, I'm going to blame her straight away for giving me the wrong time last week. Throw her right under the bus.
Sorry, I missed that last bit, Tony.
Oh, what about me throwing Ella under the bus for giving me the wrong time for the meeting last week?
Oh, okay, okay. Well, it's great that you're here.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, and I can see Ella looking at you out of the corner of her eyes, going, "Yes." How's it going? Is Project 6 back online yet?
I don't know, they're on an aeroplane.
Just try and speak Tony T. No, we can't hear you, mate. All right. So let me just. Yeah, I've just renamed. Right. So let's go. Let's start with you, Charlie.
Would you want to start with?
Yeah, and let's start with your anxiety that you're feeling about this video that you've put out into the world to try and bring awareness and to break stigma by capturing people's stories on film.
Yeah. Just a wee bit of a backstory. Me and a few others in my team, we started a little YouTube channel called Unfiltered Lives, The Other Side. And really, it was to capture the story of people who have been through recovery and who have come out of the other side, is what we call the way out. The idea it came from is that we weren't seeing ourselves on YouTube. It was like we're rich and famous and people with money and that sort of stuff. So we took a camera and we started to record my people in recovery. And I think we've got about 20 videos up, about between 15 and half an hour long. And then we had a little break. We've had about a 2-month break because it's quite exhausting. We had about a 2-month break there, and we thought, right, what else can we do now? So we thought, right, we've told them those stories. Let's develop this. So now we wanted to go out and interview people who are on the margins of our society, who also suffer from like homelessness, alcoholism, addiction, fuel and food poverty, and real people with real stories who are really struggling. And I was contacted by a streetman worker who works on the street helping the homeless, and he said, "I've got a chap who wants to tell his side of the story." The chap had 3 days earlier had been interviewed by ITV News, which is our like national news here in the UK. So I had the chance to interview him on this guy just next to the council buildings. So I have never ever interviewed anyone out in the streets. I've never interviewed someone next to a council building, and I've never interviewed someone in such like a kind of such a raw setting as I did, and I was really nervous because I really wanted to get this story right. And so I interviewed this homeless chap. I interviewed him for 10 minutes, and then we got moved on by the council. But after the interview, and I did a little bit of editing and stuff, and then my head was telling me, "Oh, it's okay," but my intuition and my stomach was shouting at me, going, "Get a second, a third, and a fourth opinion." So I asked a few people, and they never really got back to me. But God was on my side, because the very next morning I had the leadership course on the Thursday morning, and it turned out it was only me and David. So I said to David, "I'm sitting in fear with all this." And then David said, "Why don't you bring it to the container?" So the agenda on the 2 o'clock coaching practice, your container, I brung my story of why I'm sitting in fear, and and then And then the second part of the 2 hours, I said, why don't you all see it? So David said, well, we can all watch it now if you want. And I was like, no. So it turned out that the Container sat and watched the 10-minute video that I had put out, and then everybody had a chance to comment, which was more nerve-wracking than actually doing the interview because now my peers are watching and I don't know what they're going to say. But what was really making me nervous is that there was another lady in the Container from Hartlepool who knew the chap, and I was really interested in what she had to say because she knows that she knows the chap. So I got some, I wouldn't say good feedback. That what I was looking for was this ethically right? Because I am an alcoholic and an addict of 30 years, and the last thing I want to do is put anybody in jeopardy. That's the last thing I want to do. So with the feedback that I got from the Container, I then decided to upload it to YouTube on the Sunday night, and I put some comments on it to say that this had no, that by no means there was any statement about Hartlepool, because I know Hartlepool people and services work really hard at what they do, and I am really grateful for all the work and services that the people of Hartlepool do. So I put that at the end of the story, and I also put that in the write-up as well, because Hartlepool does work hard, and I didn't want this to be like, oh, this is the way that Hartlepool is, because it isn't. These are just people in the margins. I mean, these are people that really struggling, but it's not the bigger picture, man, of Hartlepool. So it went out on Tuesday. No, it went out on Sunday night. And then yesterday, then I started to get some kickback because I'm in AA.
Pause there for a second, Charlie.
Yep.
I just want to capture the learning for everyone in a community of practice. Yeah. So part of a Lero or whatever it is that we're doing, one of the goals is to break stigma. And the way of breaking stigma is sharing common stories that are happening throughout the world of addiction recovery or substance use disorder recovery or mental health. Yeah. So how can we bring someone's story to break the stigma and to get people to understand the journey of recovery and to make to kind of make it easy to enter into a culture of recovery? That's an assumption that I'm making. Does everyone buy what I'm selling? Are we in agreement? So Michael, you're in Project 6. Which area?
Doncaster.
Doncaster. Tony and the team Keighley. Also Project 6, yeah? And Ella and Tony, you're down in Kent, yes? With Raw. Bruno is in Uganda. And Rabson is in Zambia. And substance abuse is going to be a problem in all those areas and countries, yeah? And people's stories are going to be similar and slightly different. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. And as we share our stories, we're going to get kickback.
Yeah.
Because it's a stigmatized topic.
Yeah.
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 All right. So carry on, Charlie. So you ran the video across with your peers and you said, okay, guys, listen, I just want to check. What are my motives here? Can I get some feedback? Is this ethical? Or am I kind of making it all about me and trying to make myself look fantastic at the expense of someone else?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right.
So basically, because I'm in AA, and AA in the Fellowship in God got me sober, I had some fierce criticism at the start of all this in April, where I was asked to basically leave my home group. because all the rumours that were flying about, and no one come to me and asked me the question. And then now I started to kick back. Oh, you're sorry.
I
David?
just want to slow you down, Charlie. So AA as an institution is a peer-led organization based on anonymity.
Yeah,
and the
that's very true.
12-step stuff, and it's a spiritual peer-led program that, okay, so now you've received some criticism or feedback from members within the institution of AA.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. I just want, so it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
people
yeah, yeah.
getting feedback from the council or
Yeah.
the police or some, it's an institution that's,
Yeah.
okay, great.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
going.
So now, as David said, the same institution but a different group have now I now got some criticism on yesterday, basically saying that I'm making this chap vulnerable and basically gossiping that I had bought the person alcohol before the interview and I bought him alcohol after the interview, asking me if that was correct, which I said it's incorrect. And yeah, and there was just criticism on yesterday of what I was doing. And I'm expecting the gates to open today. And somewhat we could be, if it goes in line of what it did with the last time, then I'm expecting some criticism. But for me, what's important in all this is that I want to really show, I really want to show how normal people are living, or in the UK. You know, that rawness in the margins of society, and my people that are really, really struggling, that we don't see, the food and the fuel poverty, the homelessness that people are sleeping out there, and we're just coming on to winter in the UK, that we ultimately don't see in our televisions. We don't see it. The food poverty, right now in Hartlepool and in the North East is at high time low because of the price of food, and it's shockingly high, the price of fuel and everything else. And what I would like to capture is...
Did you notice Charlie's passion starting
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
fucking come out in our food and all right.
And
Let's pause it there for a second, Charlie, and let's hear the wisdom of the container.
thanks, David.
Because as we go out there, everyone's gonna have an opinion.
Okay, thanks, David.
I can see Ella's kicking Tony under the table, saying, "You go, Tony. You go, Tony." Let's hear from Raw. What's life like down in Kent? I hear you've got rich homeless people down there.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure about that. There's quite a lot of homelessness actually at the moment, especially in Canterbury, where you live. But yeah, I kind of the stigma. Me and Tony went to the Houses of Parliament the other day because we're posh.
Oh, good for you! Well done.
Because we work for the Forward Trust and we also volunteered for Raw, so we got to go there for the Forward Trust. And the whole morning was about kind of breaking down that stigma in society. And there's a video that Tony's actually in, that was created last year about kind of breaking down that stigma. And it was a really kind of like moving, emotional day. Like it was proper. Everyone was so passionate about it, and that kind of got me thinking about how much there still is a stigma. Like in my head, I was thinking, oh, it's getting better, but it's still not. And kind of what the Forward Trust are doing and what we're doing as Raw, and what you guys are doing is kind of breaking down that stigma. And I personally have like a side hustle where I've got a website about kind of my recovery and stuff. And that was my aim, was to break down that stigma, but around the world. And I know what you mean about that anxiety of putting something out and kind of getting that backlash. Because I remember when I first posted something about being in recovery, and I was like, this is going to go down really badly. Everyone's going to hate me. They're going to think I'm like a loser or whatever. But the response actually was much better than I anticipated it to be. But yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. But I can understand that anxiety of kind of putting something out there. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
So Ella, is somebody that's kind of got lived experience, yeah. You're working for a Lero, which is Raw. You're also working for a charity, which is the Forward Trust, and you've got your own Your Word side hustle. Yeah.
It's not a side hustle, it's just a blog, but it's not really a blog and there's nothing really on it.
It's all fantastic. It's brilliant stuff. Yeah. What might the challenges be for you personally in this?
I think the challenge is getting vulnerable and being open and not being anxious about it. That's the hardest part, is kind of getting vulnerable in society. I'm one of those people that's always wanted to be liked by people. I don't know if anyone else can relate to that, but I've always found it really difficult if someone doesn't like me. And I'm kind of trying people please so hard to make them like me, like kill them with kindness no matter what. Kind of like persuade them to make them my friend, basically. So yeah, I think it's kind of that kind of vulnerability in front of people is really difficult, but it's got a lot easier since I've been to rehab and started talking about my emotions and things like that.
Okay, so the institutions you work for, yeah, they want you to go out and tell a story. Yep. And whereas Charlie's institution is they want him to shut up about the story. Okay. So I'm just wanting to bring some awareness that we have as humans in this system where there are these kind of institutions that put pressure on us.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is kind of, so I was having a conversation with someone the other day about AA, NA, things like that, kind of keeping things anonymous when you're in recovery, but then the Forward Trust are trying to make people talk about their recovery and not be ashamed of it and not be ashamed of their addiction, basically. So it was kind of, there was that kind of conflict in me. I was like, well, which one is it? Like, do we need to keep anonymity? I can't say the word. Anonymity. Or do we share openly? Like, which one is it? Because for so long we've been told to kind of, we need to talk about this in quiet, really, and keep it away from everybody. And now everyone else is like, it's like I'm torn, because like in rehab and stuff and like going to 12 steps, that's the way you're taught. And then you got this organization that I work for that's like visible recovery. People need to see that there's recovery, which probably aligns with me more than the thing. But when I was in early recovery, I didn't want anyone to know. So it's kind of that, there's like a battle there, isn't it? It's like I suppose you need that time to figure out what's going on for you in that space. And that's why it's good. But then once you get comfortable with yourself and being able to share things, then you are able to, maybe more.
Okay.
Let's stop talking now.
Bruno, Rabson, what's it like in Africa? What's it like in Uganda or Zambia?
Oh, I go first.
Yes, go Rabson.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, for me, it has been very, very, very much a mind open and also so much provoking at the end of the day. Because we're just in the community where I stay. Last month, we had recorded about 5 cases of suicide among the youths. And being a person that have recovered from alcohol and substance use, so something that was very much heartbroken in, because I realized that there's been a lot of stigma, and the family members are the one that will start stigmatizing the person. I remember one of these days I tagged, David Collins, where a parent, one of the prominent actor, film director, posted his son on social media. This is how huge stigma has become in our country, because sometimes we feel or think that someone who has gone through alcohol and substance, there's no way.
Rabson, I've just stopped your video to try and improve the bandwidth.
Which was in 2019. But at the end of the day, you find that, of course, we need to have the Mental Health Council. And there is no existence of the Mental Health Council in our country, because it's not something that's very, very much in terms of budgeting and things like that.
Okay, we're struggling to hear Rabson, but what he was touching on was there's still huge stigma in Zambia, and one of the prominent, I'm going to say, celebrities there had a problem with their son, and that came out into the media, and it was also had impact as well. Yeah, and what I wanted to allude to there in Rabson's case is when the church as an institution also has an opinion. So there's a lot of faith-based recovery in Zambia, and the congregation can often have an opinion as well. Yeah. Bruno, do you want to come in?
Yeah, I can also say something.
Please.
What is on ground, what is practical in my community and in Uganda, mental health is something which has been given the smallest attention, almost no attention. So, and looking at people struggling with addictions, like in my community where I live, and the community I live in represents most parts of Uganda, because Uganda is more rural than urban. So these people, they go through a lot of stigma because no one cares about what the other person goes through. Just like I saw someone wrote there in the chat that people judge before knowing why is this person going through this. In fact, the reason why I am part of this community is I want to be part of the solution of supporting people who are going through such struggles, and no one is looking at them, because I was once in addiction, and no one came to me and no one spoke to me politely. And I have met people who are in the same shoes like the ones I was in. So I want to bring a new image in the community. I want to show people that these people who are having addictions, you need to be polite to them. You need to find out why are they doing that. Can you support them? Can you help them to move from the culture of addiction to the culture of recovery? So, and I'm not going to be alone. I know with time, I'm going to expand. I'm going to get a team. We are going to spread all over the country and the entire East Africa. And we shall connect even with South Africa, because I know a big wave is coming from South Africa. So the challenge I am facing, and what another person in my position can face, is that we want to put systems in place, but we have a problem of funding, because in my country, we are short of funds, to the extent that even our government, to fund most of its projects, it goes to foreign countries. It goes to the West, it goes to China and gets loans. It goes to the US, UK, and other countries to get funding. So we, the local people in the communities, we are also facing the same problems. You may have a brilliant idea that can create impact in the community, but the government wants you to put it in place because you will be helping them to sort out issues in the community, but they also don't have funds to support you, because they are also struggling to get funds to implement projects that impact the community. So stigma is huge, but the problem we are facing, we the people who want to show an example and move forward and create solutions, we also have a challenge of getting funds to work out and create an impact in our communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruno. I felt your passion, and certainly towards just after you'd start. And there's another example of institutions having an impact on a country. Yep, you remember you mentioned people going to get funding from the States or China or things like that. And when you put in programs like that, you're beholden to the funder as well. Yeah, and that's also another kind of challenge. People want results, and they want to know what the evidence is, and they want a whole lot of other stuff as well. Tony, we still can't hear you, so we'll let Michael speak for Project 6. All right.
Hi, everybody. Hope you can hear me. Sometimes the internet does go off, so I would apologise in advance for that. First of all, a huge thanks to you all for sharing your stories and your views. There's a lot to think about there. So I've just made some notes as some key words as we're going through. Charlie, I can understand your anxiety with the kickback you might get from your video, your filming. In Doncaster, we made a film recently, which was part of, I think, the Film Street Festival that we entered. It's a 3-minute film. And we actually used people from the service, volunteers who've had lived experience, who were willing to be actors, if you like, in part of the dialogue. So we filmed that. So 3 minutes video. It was very hard hitting, but we were safe because it was broadcast through an organization that then it could be distributed worldwide, if you like. So one thing I was thinking about, we are treading some difficult waters here, and that if at the beginning of the film you might have done this, Charlie, to put a blurb about no children or animals or the making of this video type of blurb, just to put it out there that, look, we've got consent. There was nothing dishonorable about it. It's just a real life story with the consent of an individual, so that when people come back at you, say, look, I understand what you might be thinking, but we've actually got consent and we've ticked all the boxes, if you like. So watch the video and, see if you can help. Let's listen to your opinion of it. So that might be something that would safeguard you, Charlie, if you haven't already done so. The other thing is this talk about stigma. And my personal view is that we will always have stigma about one thing or another. That doesn't mean that we have to accept it. It just means that we have to challenge it wherever we find it. And the stigma that we might need to concentrate on first might be our self-stigma, where we put ourselves in sometimes, where we might have felt in the past through lived experience that we might have been a burden, or that we have disappointed.
I want to stop you there because that's a very important point. Yeah, it's called internal oppression. And internal oppression is where you believe the stories that the oppressor told you about and you take them on. Yep, so the oppressor is no longer there anymore and you take on those stories. So when Michael mentions internalized stigmatization, where do we continue to stigmatize ourselves and to stop us from kind of going out and making a huge impact in the world? I'm very much, for example, for me being dyslexic and going to school and not coping in that environment, and being told I was stupid, I still have that internal voice that goes, David, you're stupid. Who do you think you are? And it keeps me small. Making sense?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Back to you, Michael.
Yes.
Sorry, I just wanted to capture that.
Thank you, David. Because I felt that was a very important point. So we need to look inside ourselves. I need to look inside myself first before I can actually move forward and look at the negative or unfair beliefs that I have of myself, in order that I would have the confidence to be able to go and present and document and challenge stigmatization. But it's a human condition that, it's going to be there in one way, shape, or form, and that is an actual driver for us. So for today, at lunchtime, we're taking the coffee cart out onto the streets of Doncaster, where we will meet a number of homeless people who we'll have a coffee with. We have resisted from taking photographs or filming of them at the moment, because we didn't want it to appear like a publicity stunt or such. We wanted to get the confidence of these people. And in the future, they maybe help us run the coffee cart. You never know where these things go. But I'm delighted to be able to hear that people all over the globe, if you like, are actually doing things and challenging things and asking questions to try to bring about a change in people's views on all types of stigma and support recovery in its widest sense, David. So I found this conversation very interesting, personally.
Great. So, David, just before we get to you, I just want to talk about, just to let you know, Recovery Connections. They went over to the US, and there was there's a guy there called John Fryer, I think it's his name. And they talk about recovery in practice, and he designed a bicycle with a coffee cart on it, and then you cycle, you ride the bicycle around and you give people coffee. The only requirement is as you drink the coffee, you talk about recovery. And so Recovery Connections took that idea of the coffee bike and started to use it in Middlesbrough as a town, in the town, to kind of break stigma around it. Yep. So it's a great tool for people to come and have a conversation around a cup of coffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's starting to catch on. And what I like what Michael is saying now as well, it's not a publicity stunt where we kind of taking pictures of people's misery and making ourselves look good from that. It's more about like, this is awareness. And I just want to bring our African colleagues in here. Often the image of Africa is little kids with kind of flies on their mouths, fucking being hungry, and the projection from the West is, oh, shame, poor Africa, where actually Africa is very resourced, very entrepreneurial, and actually very, very creative in coming up with solutions. But there's this global kind of oppression that Africa is a third world and can't fend for themselves, and they need aid. And it gets me triggered, this as well, because one of the things in South Africa is when we come up with solutions, people want to say, but what are they doing in the UK and what are they doing at Harvard? Yep. And like the spirit of Ubuntu and what we talk about is an African philosophy that the world needs. Not Africa doesn't need the world needs Africa and that philosophy. Oh, I get really triggered. Excuse me. I'm going to start foaming at the mouth. David Wright, you had your hand up.
Yeah, thank you, David. Sorry, my internet connection is also a little bit unstable. I just wanted to speak aloud about a number of things that came up for me personally when I heard you speaking, Charlie. And me personally, I've been in my own recovery journey for about 6.5 years. It started in AA and the 12 steps and the big book. And I then went on to find and learn about and internalize and practice multiple pathways to recovery. What I found personally in my journey was that I got very sucked into the beliefs underpinning AA, this whole thing around anonymity. what I've learned in my recovery journey is really, it's been my kind of path to selfhood. And I've learned to actually start to question things a lot more in terms of what I'm hearing. And what I've also learned is to stop caring so much about what other people think. As long as my motive is pure and it's coming from a good place, that's really all that matters. And what other people might think of it is nothing to do with me. It's none of my business. And they've got their own internal world and their own stuff to deal with respect to their projections or their blame game on me. It took me time to get there. I'm still trying to get there. I get concerned about what other people might think here and there, but really it's been a lot of that to get to that place of wholeness, in the sense that I know who I am, I speak my truth, I hold myself to the standards I set for myself, and you can think what you want. I've taken good things out of your recovery program. I'm grateful for that, but I don't buy that, and I don't buy that, and be okay with that. Yeah, just wanted to add that.
Thank you very much, David.
Yeah.
Okay, Charlie, let's go back to you now. How are you
Yep.
feeling?
Yeah, I feel okay. It was lovely to hear what Bruno was saying, man, really about these. It was a kind of picture, did you know, man, about a country and how they handle, how I mean, they handle mental health and then when Michael spoke as well about the bicycle as well, when handing out him coffees and going to have a conversation, I really liked that man as well. And Ella's side hustle, that made me chuckle. You know, because I remember my first side hustle, man. I put a camera on my radiator and I told the world my story. But it took me about a month of courage to actually upload it, man, and put it out there. So I've took loads from what everybody says, and then right at the end, it was lovely what David said there, that I thought, man, at one point you were actually telling my story there, man, David. Man, at one point I was that's exactly how I'm feeling, especially with AA. But as you mentioned, that multiple pathways, and I feel as if this is what the coaching community's giving me at the moment. It's giving me like another pathway from AA that I didn't know existed, and then ultimately, and then we've got like Raw and Michael's stuff and Tony's stuff. So there's like multiple pathways, man. As you man said, and ultimately, it's and what I took from the end was to stop caring what other people think. And I think Ella touched on that, man, as well, about this internal and want to please people. And I've still really got that. But I know today I mean, you said it, I mean, David, right, that as long as I am holding myself accountable and I know that I'm doing it for the right reasons and the right ethics, then it'll be okay. So yeah, I'm feeling so. It's just great bringing stuff to the container when you're feeling anxious, isn't it? And getting everybody's, kind of opinions and stuff. And I mean, whether it's good or bad or here or there, it doesn't really matter. You know, it's just lovely to hear, man, when you bring stuff to our peers. So my thanks, David. I appreciate it all.
Okay. So yeah, I just want to come in with some of the tools and the beliefs. So the tool is the coaching conversation, and we create the container, we build the container, people come to the container, the topic emerges out of the container, and the solution is within the container. So I like to think that's what happened today. A whole lot of people came together. We checked in. We focused on a topic. I focused on you, Charlie, and then as a community, we spoke about it, and a solutions emerged.
Yeah.
Okay. So in 10 minutes. Yep, we're going to break off and you guys are going to coach each other. Yep, and whatever that looks like, so you can start to move forward for your hours for certification. Ella and Tony, are you two okay to coach each other for an hour? Yep. on whatever. So just check in, create a container, and Tony, that was so naughty. Whatever you just said there, I could just go, oh, fuck, we're going to the pub, aren't we? Fuck that shit. Yeah. And other Tony, you can sit down with your colleagues there. Yeah. And how about Charlie and Michael, you two pair up? I'll put you into a breakout room. Yep, and let's put Uganda together with Zambia. How does that work for you, Bruno and Rabson?
Cool.
Great, okay. And Bruno and Rabson, I really would love you two to kind of hold us accountable to bringing an African solution. As opposed to us kind of, you know, bringing a Western thinking to this. I have a lot of blind spots around that. Okay. All right, so let's start the checkout. David, do you want to start the checkout?
Yes, thanks, David. I am checking out feeling very connected. I really enjoyed this container. I'm glad to be a part of it. I think I took the challenge from you guys saying that you'd stick around. So I'm glad I stuck around, and I'm glad that we spoke about our lived experience. Always worth connecting and talking about these sorts of things. So checking out with joy. Thank you. And shall I tag somebody?
Yeah.
Charlie, I'll tag you.
Thank you, David. I'm tagging. I am checking out, feeling loads better. Thanks. I always do, Mum. When I bring stuff to the container, it's such a nice feeling actually, and I'm like, I'm coming back down to earth now. And I will tag Michael.
Oh, thank you, Charlie. I'm checking out, feeling very positive. I've enjoyed speaking to everybody, and I'm really looking forward to working with Charlie over the next hour. Thank you. If I can tag Ella and Tony.
Sorry, I was having some technical difficulties. Thank you, Michael. I feel inspired, motivated to change the world.
I'm so pleased you two came, Ella. Really lovely to see you both.
You too, David.
Tony, how are you checking out, mate?
I'll go intrigued. I mean, the stigma conversation is something quite sort of close to my heart. Something we talk about a lot. Like Alice said, that was part of the Action on Addiction video. So I've had a chance to speak about it to a lot of people lately. But yeah, loving the ideas and stuff that were going around in the room as well. Like me and said to Ella at the time, the bike coffee thing, like we're definitely going to steal that now, just so you know. But yeah, who hasn't gone yet? Can I tag Bruno?
Good choice, yeah.
Thank you. I am checking out. I am checking out feeling good. I've really enjoyed the conversation, and I feel some energy within me. Apologies, I'm not going to hang on for long when we go in the rooms because my battery is weak and anytime it will go off. So if I'm with you in the room and I disappear, I've apologized in advance. I am tagging Robson.
Rabson, you there? Struggling to hear you, Rabson.
Yes, and what sharing more and based on this. Thank you.
Cool. All right. Is that everyone? All right. So let me just stop.